In the episode, Tanaka and I talk about. In the episode, Tanaka shares with us. In the episode, Tanaka shares with us. And we also talk about. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Creators that Connect series. My name is Luca, but you can call me that camera guy. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your love and support. I truly appreciate it. And if you're new here, please do consider subscribing if you like this video. And today's episode of the show, we're joined by yet another photographer. So you've got to love photography, man. And his name is Tanaka Pendeke, who is based out of Zimbabwe. Now, Tanaka runs a company called Aphotography, who specialize in conceptual photo shoots. And my days, do they deliver the best of work? In the episode, Tanaka and I talk about his interest and passion in, believe it or not, animation. But we also talk about Tanaka's biggest learning curve in his 3 and a bit years of shooting, conceptual shoots, and creativity in general. So just sit back, relax, and let's connect with Tanaka. Thank you so much, Tanaka, for taking time out of your schedule, like I said before, to be here, to sit down and chat with me. I've been following your work for quite some time now, and you really do present a different kind of style and bring a different kind of feel and vibe to photography, which I really do like and appreciate. And I think on that, my first question would be, how do you come up with some of the concepts that you come up with? And it seems like each and every one of the photos that you post has some kind of concept, some kind of thought process that has gone into creating that kind of artwork. So how do you come up with the concepts that you do?
So generally, sometimes when I shoot, basically, okay, most of the great shots that I've taken, that people tell me that this is a great shot, I usually go on set without any idea. That's the honest truth.
Wow, for real.
For real. Most of my shoots right now. So, basically, when I go on set, there's this other picture. This other picture of mine with a lady in the tub. If you've seen that.
Yes, I know the one. I know the one.
If I show you like how I began that shoot, you'll be really shocked. Like the end result and how it started. Like on that shoot, I totally had no idea what she was wearing wasn't what we shot for that shot. She was wearing something else. Those things were just scrap. The clothes that we then used for the shoot. They were like scrap clothes that we just found in the bag, and we just had gold spray paint and everything that we had. We just spray painted it gold, and like we had no idea that. We had not idea that this was going to be something like this, and it was actually not planned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So right now I've been trying to try lifestyle, but I'm failing that side. So just basically, I think I'm mostly into conceptual photography, and like I'm saying. Sometimes people sometimes not give me ideas. I've got people that now help me towards creating perfect shots. And basically that's just it. Sometimes I just totally have no idea of what I'm doing, but I just know if the input of people just helps me through.
That's very different. That goes against the general notion that before you go to a shoot you need to have plans, you need to put down what you're going to do and have all this plan. You do it very differently, which speaks volumes about your creativity, speaks volumes about your capability to create, and it's actually quite amazing. But I mean, I'm also thinking about, now that you've mentioned the shoot with the bathtub, it was the end product is absolutely exquisite. Like I'll have to show the picture in the actual video for people to understand. But
Thank you very much.
how did you find that location? Like, how do you find locations? How do you find props? Do you have like props in hand? I know you're talking about spray paint and clothing in
Yeah.
bag. Do you have set props that you have that you take to a shoot and then pick from there, or how does it work? How do you do it?
Okay, when it comes to locations, sometimes like the location that we used for that specific shoot is my old office. So
Okay.
it was just a house, like like we when we were looking for an office, we found a house, those like old school houses. So
Yep.
this house was just generally grungy, like the total feel of it.
Mm.
The bathroom is like old school, and even if you go to the outside, it's just like those places like retro feeling places.
Yeah, that's literally how that feels, eh?
Yeah. So when I usually look for locations, I specifically think of a concept.
Mhm.
If I'm to think of a concept, then I script down the locations that I find, or the locations that people point out to me. So generally, when it comes to location and props, I've got a friend of mine. Like, funny enough, I was recently talking to him a few days ago. So he's the one who usually designs my sets.
Okay.
For him, he thinks it's just one of those things where he just designs the set, and he's very creative in a way. So
Yeah.
he's also the guy that helped me with creating the concept and stuff. But he generally thinks he scouts people. But for me personally, I actually told him a few days ago, like, dude, why don't you try go to set creating? Because if I tell you how amazing that guy is when it comes,
It comes naturally to him. Huh?
Yeah, it comes naturally to him. Even like I'm telling you, if I invite him for a shoot, even if it's a client shoot, right? He comes with a bag full of stuff.
Wow.
Even if you don't use those things, but he comes already prepared.
He's always ready.
So
he's always ready.
Exactly.
Mm.
So he's a major pillar when it comes to my set creations.
Mm.
And basically, the other thing is how we go to different locations. Like, I've come to a point where most of my clients now ask me, like, when someone books a shoot, they ask me if I provide clothes as well.
Mm.
So if you get the feeling that I'm saying, that generally when it comes to my shoots, most of the time I'm totally blank when it comes to the concept.
Yeah.
But the end result then comes to me, and I usually think out of the box when I'm on set, then think out of the box when someone gives me a concept.
I see.
So generally, I believe in being on set for me to come with a great concept than generally just jotting down the concept and see how it goes. So basically, most of the stuff, I usually do on set.
That's pretty cool. That's like I said, it takes a completely different approach to what a lot of people have been taught, or a lot of people are teaching. And I like that. And I like that the freedom that it brings you. It doesn't keep you in a box. And I think it's always easier to be in the place you're shooting to actually understand, this is what I want to do and this is where I want to take it. But you mentioned this friend of yours that helps you a lot and sets up your sets for you. And is he the only person you work with, or there's a whole bunch of different people that you work with as well? And I think my question there is more, how important is it for you to have a network of people that you work with, or is it more of a one-man army type of thing?
Okay. Depending on the job, I've got a lot of people that I work with.
Okay.
So basically, what I usually do is, I've got people like assistants that help me throughout the shoot, and most of my assistants are basically like raw material. Like, when I say raw material, like people who don't know that they're creative, but they are creative. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So so most of the people that I work with, depending on the shoot, I usually call them out like for most of my shoots. So
Yep.
sometimes I totally have no idea, like I'm saying, but
Yeah.
the people that I incorporate in my shoots, like I'm saying, that guy is called Gabe, the one that's that designs my sets for me. I've got a guy called Munashi. I've also got Fua Francis, if you know.
Okay.
I've got a lot of people that I incorporate depending on the shoot that I'm planning to do. So I know the weaknesses, I know the strengths. So basically, depending on how we want to achieve something, we usually then just incorporate our ideas and work on something.
Well, and I think I like what you have going on. I think it's very important to have people in your circle to kind of help you with these things. I think the more you grow as a content creator, as a creative, the bigger the workload is. So I think sometimes very important to sort of humble yourself and say, you know what, I can't do this alone and I need people to help me. Or there are some things that I'm not good at and I need people to help me. A lot of the times when you start off as a photographer and you're alone, you sort of feel like, okay, I need to do everything by myself. I need to be able to set, I need to be able to do this, I need to be able to do that, I need to know lighting. But sometimes it's just a concept that you've never understood or been able to understand by yourself. And there's always other people out there who can help you and who can probably do better than you. And it's not a bad thing to have a team or people you rely on for that kind of processes. So I like what you have going on and I respect it 100%. My next question is a little bit on the side of something else you do creatively, and that's animation. I bumped into your work on animation, and I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked to see that you work on some animation stuff. Tell us your love and passion for that, where it started, where it comes from, and how deep is it?
Well, generally, like, I think from the get go, like, from me growing up, I was just interested in animating. So most of the time, like, people laugh at me. Most of the shows that I watch cartoons. I'm basically more into like things that just don't fall naturally on our lifestyle. Like, basically, I'm not into romantic movies. I'm not into comedy and stuff like that. So basically, I'm into more of things that are just not there. You should get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So animation is just a passion for me. It's been a passion for me. Like, there's certain things that I like doing that I don't care if people pay me or not, because I'm generally just interested in doing those things. If someone calls me to a shoot, I'm not expecting to get paid.
Wow.
Because I like just taking pictures. If someone just gives me a project to work on animation wise, of course, I've got to pay the bills, but I'm interested in tackling that situation. Why? Because I'm just interested in doing it. So basically, animation has just been a great perspective towards my business. So whenever I'm stressed, I go and animate. If I animate too much, I go outside and shoot. So just basically, animation and photography are just my main pillars of just bringing out what's in my mind.
And I think it's very important to have that kind of release, that kind of solace in something else. I think, I don't know how it is for you, but I've definitely seen photography and videography become more of a job to people than what it was when they started. You know, it starts off something you're passionate about and you truly love it, and it's not like it dies out, but it becomes more of a business than it becomes more of work than anything else. So it's important sometimes to have something to cool off with and like calm down your nerves, calm down your mind. And I think you find that in animation is super, super cool. I'm glad that you've got something that brings you so much peace as well, which is super cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but I mean, how long have you been shooting? That's the first one. It's a two-part question. How long have you been shooting, and what has been your biggest learning curve throughout your entire photography career?
Okay. Well, I've been shooting for about I think 3 years. I'm like think
Wow.
fourth year now.
Dang.
Fourth year, I think so.
That's
So
not long.
basically-
That's actually not
Yeah.
a long time.
So basically, my learning curve was, you know what? I've learned something during the time that I've been shooting.
Mhm.
Like most photographers now, basically want to try everything.
Okay.
We're chasing the money more than we're chasing our
Yes.
capability. So
Yes.
I basically I've shunned away every type of photography that I can think of. I don't take weddings. I don't take. I'm not ashamed of that. Even if people tell me that there's more money doing that, I'm not ashamed to say I don't shoot.
Respect.
I
bro.
don't. Yeah, I don't shoot like lifestyle images. So basically, I've learned that get the people that understand your work to come to you. So
Respect,
I
bro.
now think that if I'm to shoot my certain type of photography, and I specialize in it, and I become a master of it, people will come to you, and they'll come to appreciate your work, because I can't be out there doing all sorts of things that when someone comes to me, I'll be like, yeah, I can take a job. Yeah, I can take a job. It becomes too overwhelming for me, and you know what? I end up doing like I'll end up doing like 50% of what I can do 100% of. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
that's deep,
So
bro.
what I basically think is I've come to specialize. I'm learning each and every day, but I'm learning more to specialize on what I think I'm capable of. I don't want to try new things. I don't want to try going to certain areas before I specialize what I think I'm good at the moment. So basically, I've learned that specializing makes you better and better and better and better every day. So I'm just growing. I'm not saying I'm good. I don't think I'm good. Yes.
Don't sell yourself
But-
short, man. Don't sell yourself short.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to like grow up and build what I can and what I'm building right now, so that I can become a better photographer in terms of what I do.
And that's big. That's
Yeah.
really, really big. And nothing wrong and not speaking down on people who've chosen to, you know, do every kind of photography. But I respect what you're saying. You know, I respect that, you know what, if someone comes to me and they tell me, please do a wedding job for me, you're there and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
And
I can't do it.
it definitely speaks a lot about who you are as a person, who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And your character. And I think you speak about something that's very important, which is we're chasing the bag way too much now as creators.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I really appreciate your philosophy. And I think, like you're saying, you're building a brand. You are building something that needs to speak for itself. You want people to hear the name Afrophotography and already know, okay, it's concept all out. We want a concept to be done.
Exactly.
And the first person and the first name that comes to mind is yours, you know, and it's your brand name, which is super cool, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking about Afrophotography, how did you come up with that name? Is there any core meaning behind it, or it just?
Oh, so how I come? It's a very funny story actually.
Okay.
So my brother used to keep an afro.
Okay.
So that's just basically how we came up with it. So
That's
just
all it is.
Just that.
That is the
So
simplest.
people-
That is the simplest explanation I've ever heard.
So this just how we came up with it. My brother he was called Afro by his guys. So we just took that and we added the beautiful photography in it. Yeah.
I love it. It's absolutely amazing. Okay. And what's your dream? I know you speak about yourself and how you want to build yourself to be someone who's known for, you know, concepts, and who's a master at it, and you know, who can deliver 100% of one thing and not 50% of one thing. But what do you want, and what's your dream for your brand, Afrophotography? Where do you want to take it? How do you want to see it grow? How do you want to see it succeed?
So my dream is this. So I've got this huge dream when it comes to being creative. I believe, you know, like the world is changing. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like right now we are all in lockdown, we can't go anywhere and stuff like that. You know, So I think basically everything is just going to be machines all the time. Like people can't go to work. If you want to go to the shop because of the virus that we've got to start automating everything and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My dream is we can never duplicate creativity.
We can't, eh?
So yeah, you can never have a machine that would think for you and also think a different way from another machine. So my dream is us as creative. Let's just keep creating, and then until the world goes to an end. Because like every single time, if we stop creating and focus more on worldly things like money, like fame and stuff like that, we are losing the creative part of it.
Yeah.
So I believe as creatives, let's just create more and make the world a better place. Because you know what? Everyone is inside the house right now. So if there's nothing creative to entertain the people, and then the world is just dark, it's just down.
We lose it.
So
we lose hope.
Yeah. So I just believe like let's just keep creating until I don't know until all the creativity is just wiped down from our brains.
Dang, bro.
And as a photography, the reason why a lot of people like if I'm to tell you the background story of photography,
please do.
I started off with my friend. So my friend and I like built it up from the bottom, and we took it to a stage where like people began to like recognize us and stuff like that. And then my friend decided to just like, you know what, man, I think Zimbabwe is getting too tough for me. So he left Zim and he went to Botswana. And you know what I told him? I'm like, guy, you can come back. I know life is tough in Zimbabwe, but I think we can build something. But it was like, no problem, guy. I'll come back as soon as I can. But let me just ask for a few things and then I'll get back to you.
Wow.
Right? So at some point I thought I couldn't take it to another level on my own.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I at some point I was so like, let me just cut this thing off and just stop everything that I'm trying to do. I can't take a photography to the top of my own. So at some point I went on a standstill. I did nothing. I did nothing creative. And a lot of people told me that you still have creativity. Why don't you take it back to? Why don't you personalize the brand? Like scratch off the photography part and just call it Tanaka Pendege Photography or something like that. But you know what? Then a friend of mine came and he said like, you know what, dude? You can never have a catchy name like photography. It's something different. So why don't you carry on with that? So that's what kept me going as a photography. And you know what? I've got a lot of people that are now taking the brand elsewhere. Like the people that I work with, they are proud to be associated with that photography. So I believe if those few people that I have right now that I'm working with are proud and they're taking it to another level that people outside are now coming to appreciate the brand of photography.
No, we definitely appreciate the brand.
Yeah. So I'm just generally
definitely
I personally think
you were saying
I can't personalize a photography. It's not mine, but I think for me it's just a collaborative family that just works with each other to make it a better thing. I've got friends of mine that are now pushing photography as a brand. Like we're now doing T-shirts.
Wow.
With the logo photography.
Sure.
We're doing I'm not a video person, but I now have a few projects that I've worked on where people just call me and say, we know you don't do video, but we want that creative element that you put in your photos to like put them in our videos.
Wow.
So I've got a lot of projects that I've worked on, like video-wise, like incorporating my animation and my photography. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So just really like people are now coming to appreciate the brand, and we're now venturing into new areas that we never thought that we'd go into. So basically, I think I just wanted to grow. Even if I'm to step down, I just believe that there's people that are there that can take the brand elsewhere.
Yo, I love that story. Absolutely one of the best
Yeah.
stories I've ever heard. No doubt here on the show. And I love
Thank
your
you very
humility as
much.
well. You being able to
Mhm.
separate yourself from the band. It's like it's not mine
Yeah.
to own. It's not mine to claim. It's not mine to
Yeah.
decide how it should grow and how it should be done. But it's a group effort.
Mhm.
There's so much more to
Yeah.
the brand than just myself, which is absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. I can't put into words how humbling your words were right now. It's actually it's super encouraging. It's super cool to hear how you
very
think,
much.
and I think I can definitely say you were raised well. Flip, you were really
Yeah.
raised well. It's absolutely amazing to see you then take what you've learned in life and implement it in a business that's influencing and inspiring so many people. I know I, for one, am absolutely inspired, and I see it in your comment section when you post a picture. People go crazy, bro. People go absolutely nuts when you post pictures. So it's not going in vain. The work that you guys are putting in, the ideas that you guys
Yeah.
are putting in, the sleepless nights, all the editing, all the up and down, and the commuting. It's definitely building to something, and I hope nothing but the best for your brand. And I hope
Yeah,
that
thank you, man.
your vision for it and dream for it to grow and continue inspiring people can definitely come to life.
It's true.
But you mentioned that people are at home now, and all they have is creativity. All they have,
Yeah.
all they're hoping in is this creativity to entertain them and to keep them alive and to keep their hopes alive. Stuck at home
Yeah.
and things like that. But for us, the creators, how have you been able to stay relevant? I mean, we came out of a really hectic year, right? 2021 was
Yeah.
something else, but 2020 was hectic, but 2021 doesn't look like it's starting pretty. It doesn't look like it's going to be any different to 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
how
actually
have you been able to stay relevant in 2020 as a creator, to stay above water, to keep your head above water, to keep your creative juices flowing? How did you do that in 2020? How do you plan to do that in 2021 if this year doesn't change?
Okay. Like how from like when 2020 was coming to an end, I just got a hunch that maybe probably the next year won't be treating us the same. So I actually like I'm saying with my friends, like the ones that I work with, we actually came up with a lot of concepts. Like we wrote down every concept that we think that we could do, because I was saying to them, you know what, guys, we aren't posting as much on the page because of like the time difference. Like sometimes we venture into different types of work.
Okay.
So why not the last days of 2020 we shoot a lot?
Okay.
So we shot a lot. We shot a lot of concepts. Like if I'm to show you like the amount of work that I'm supposed to edit,
it's a lot.
Totally shocked. Yeah. So we shot a lot of work that we said that can push us to a certain part of the year. And you know what? The other thing that I've been doing lately is I've been shooting more family, because I'm always with my family. So sometimes I dress up my family and I actually use them as models for my shoots. So
that's cool.
Basically, yeah, I'll be showing you some of those works.
I'm excited. I am excited.
Yeah. So with my family, and the few that I also did the end of the last year. So I'm just hoping that the content that I have will push me to like I was saying, so that people get to know that I'm still alive.
You're not dead. You are there. You're still kicking.
Yeah,
I love that.
So generally, the year has been low for us. So I've been doing mostly of the animating part, other than the photography. But basically, I think as the year progresses, there'll be more work coming soon.
We're excited to see it.
I hope that the work that I have actually pleases you guys, because you know what, it might please me, but people will be like,
what? There's no way we won't be pleased. If your work is anything like the work you produced, or even better, then we're definitely gonna be satisfied. I'm definitely excited to see your work. And for someone who doesn't like planning how they're gonna shoot and the concept, you did a pretty good job at planning for the next year. Like, okay, guys, let's shoot and then have work in store so that we can always be posting. I think that was a pretty good plan, you know, with the uncertainty of becoming here. Now, people are in lockdown. Like, you just can't come out and start shooting as well, you know. So I think your plan to do that was pretty ingenious, and kudos to you and your team for coming up with that plan. I really respect that. But I'm super excited to see your work and see what you guys are working on and editing and preparing. I'm definitely excited to see that. But I want you to do something for me. I want you to think back to the time you got your first ever camera. If you can remember the feeling you had then, and share how you felt and what that experience was like.
Okay. I think the first ever camera that I got was a 600D. But I didn't stay. I didn't stay for long with it, because I still remember we came across a family issue that actually had to be resolved by me selling the camera.
Wow.
So I sold the camera, and when I sold it, I pushed a lot of work. I pushed a few pieces of my work, and I had a friend of mine who was in Canada. So, you know, we got to talking over the phone, and he actually asked me to teach him photography online. So, you know,
are you serious?
I told him
crazy.
Yeah. So I told him like what I already knew, the stuff I already knew from owning a camera. I think I owned it for about 2 months or so. So I told him what I knew at that time. So, you know, like, from me teaching him, he bought gear, he started shooting, he started charging a lot of money, you know.
Wow.
Like how, like, here in Zimbabwe, or here just basically in Africa, photography doesn't cost as much as it costs like abroad. So, you know, we started charging like loads of money, like shooting for people and events. So what he did was, the camera that he had bought for, I think, about a month. Then there was, lucky enough, someone who was coming from Canada. So, you know, he gave the lady the camera, and to my surprise, you know, it was actually a surprise for me. The lady called me and said, I've got a parcel for you.
No way.
When I went there was a camera. So the camera that I used was a Nikon D3200 from that point.
No way.
And I actually used that camera for, I think, about a year and a half. And I then had enough money to buy me a new camera. So I bought 77D.
So you're a Canon boy at heart, huh?
Yes,
you're a Canon boy at heart. Oh, but that's
exactly.
You keep hitting me with the craziest story I've ever heard, man. Like, that's so wild, man. That's what the heck? He just sent you a camera. He just like, yo, get my boy's camera. Get him to shoot it. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely have God looking after you. You definitely have God looking after you.
That's true, man.
It's crazy. Yo.
Yeah.
That is wild. When I asked that question, I was not expecting to get that kind of response. But it's
so
it's pretty awesome.
It's actually been an inspiration. Yes.
And how is he doing now? How is his shooting career going?
He's been up and down. Yeah. Like the last time that I spoke to him, he was like, I haven't been shooting lately. So he actually sends me stuff. He actually sends me, the last time, I think last year, he sent me Speedlight.
Wow.
So he'll be like, I'm doing great, but, you know, just because of work, sometimes I'm shooting, sometimes I'm not shooting. So I can't loads of stuff that I'm just not using at the moment. But generally, he now like the company that he works for, usually he's working for a Black Lives Matter organization.
Okay.
So what they generally do is they just hit me up. He actually was supposed to do the photography. So he calls me and he just tells me to work on a project with him. So I've been working on a project with him that's called Chain.
Okay.
I think I posted a few pictures of it.
I think I saw
on Instagram. Yeah. So just basically he now gives me most of his work in terms of international recognized companies.
That's
crazy. You want to do something creative.
That is crazy. I really had no idea about all this, and it's crazy. We see so much of people's works, but we have no idea the backstory. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, and all the work that's going on. That's super cool. I'm super excited for your work. I'm super excited for your team, everything that is going on with your company. Like I said before, I wish you guys all the best for sure. But it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute honor, and I promised not to take too much of your time. But I only have one question left for you today, and that is, I think you spoke about the Zimbabwean creative community and the state of Zimbabwe, and everything that's going on, and people trying to chase the bag too much. I mean, there's a lot going on, not just in Zimbabwe, but I mean, the entire creative community as we know it. I think, what do you think we could do better to improve the Zimbabwean creative space? What do you think is missing? What do you think is lacking, either in the people or in the art itself?
Well, basically, I think, like I was saying before, like our creative industry is slowly dying because people aren't as much concerned about being creative anymore. So, I think as creatives, like I get to like meet a lot of photographers here this side. So they're always bitter of how like upcoming photographers like charge less when it comes to shoots. But I always tell people, like, if you're good enough,
people will come at you.
People will come at you. So even if I was to charge $1,000 for a shoot, and there's someone who's charging $1 for the shoot, if people come to understand that 1,000 is this much, 1,000 is worth this much, and I'm sure I'm getting the best. So basically, I think we should concentrate more on how creative we are, other than going for what we think.
Competition now,
exactly. So
competition.
And the other thing is, people tend to they're like photography, WhatsApp groups, where you post a picture and people will be like, this is that, this is not like this is not like that. I believe, I believe when it comes to art, because photography is an art, we shouldn't judge people because,
freedom of expression,
Exactly. How would you have felt if, like, we were to take the painting as famous as the Mona Lisa and then critique it, like, the background is too busy and stuff like that. But we come to appreciate art because people tend to be different when it comes to thinking. You know what I'm saying? So if I tend to think that my picture is supposed to go that way and it's supposed to go this way, I should be given credit for that. People tend to now. I think there are many people who think they know too much when it comes to taking pictures. So I basically think that let's just appreciate creativity. Each and every person is creative in a different way. Of course, we make mistakes, and I think those mistakes are what makes us better and better every time.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much, bro. I mean, you're right. Photography is an
Yeah.
art, video is an art, and how I choose or how the next person chooses to express that, and they
Yeah.
deliver that, and they're proud of it. I mean, I think people should be given the credit of just being able to pick up a camera, shoot,
Yes.
and share the work.
Exactly.
I sat down with someone in an interview, and he was saying, I don't think people understand how vulnerable taking photos and sharing photos is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very vulnerable space. It's like you're sharing this very personal thing that you've done with the rest of the world, and then
Yeah.
people going on to critique it and think bad of it is not healthy, not for themselves and for the person receiving that kind of information.
Yeah.
I think,
That's true.
like you said, we do make mistakes. Sometimes it's good to, give gentle advice and be like, you know what, I think you could have done this. But I mean,
Yeah.
speaking down on someone's hard work is not the way to go, especially as a creative community. We literally only have each other. I mean, if we can't support each other,
Exactly.
if we can't support each other, we're gonna have too many people quitting, too many
Yeah.
creative minds that could have done great things, choosing to
Yeah, that's true.
pursue something else because we are unable to support one another. We're unable to
Yeah.
have each other's backs. So if we don't have each other's backs, no one else will, man. No one.
Yeah,
else
that's
will.
true, man.
So I love that. I love that so much, and I hope for the sake of creativity, man, that can happen not just in Zim but in the world over. We continue to support each
that's
other,
true.
and we
Yeah.
continue to see the beauty in one another's arts and creativity as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I have for today. It feels really short. I would have loved to pick your brain some more, but those are the only questions I had prepared.
No.
Maybe one day we will probably meet in person, have a chat, or record another session in another
that's true.
time. But I really, really appreciated sitting down with you and having a chat with you. Absolutely,
Thank you very
beautiful
much.
mind.
Thank you very much.
The way you
for
think,
having me.
it's an absolute honor. And
Yeah.
I wish
Thank you
you
very much.
and the company all the best, not just this year, but in the years to come as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this.
It is my pleasure.